Day 2 of training camp gave the Chicago Bears something they haven't been able to say often, and it's been a continued theme to the 2 days of training camp so far, and that's that the offense continues to be ahead of the defense. Caleb Williams had what was described as one of his best practices in Chicago his whole entire time here. His decisive work, and in the 11-on-11, really he threw a massive touchdown on top of that. Kalif Raymond made big plays as well. Rome Odunze looked explosive, so we're going to be talking about the biggest standouts of Day 2 of training camp, and we're going to dive into the mailbag. All that plus more right after this. What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get to this content for today, y'all. And the offense is well on its way for the Chicago Bears, and that's the thing that I don't know about y'all. It has me really excited. The Bears passing attack reportedly was more advanced than the defense, which, again, I talked about on yesterday's episode. You should expect that at this point, right? This offense is coming out of their first year under Ben Johnson. All the pieces are basically still the same except center and left tackle. Almost everything is still the same there. Of course, DJ Moore's gone there too, but when you're returning as many pieces as what you are, you're increasing roles for some of those pieces in Colston Loveland and Luther Burden with some of the absences that you have. It makes sense that this Bears team is well advanced of what it was at the same point last year, and then they have a better understanding of this offense. But the thing that stood out that everybody's talking about is Caleb Williams looked like he was in command of that offense from start to finish. One of the things that we want to see about him is just be more efficient. Between the completion rate, the decisiveness, distributing the ball, all that type of stuff, that's what you want to see from Caleb Williams this year. And so this wasn't just about the Caleb Williams throwing the highlight. We know he can do that, right? He's going to do that in practices. He's going to do that in training camp. He's going to do that every single year. He's going to make the highlight reel moves that's just you're going to look at, you're going to see clips of, and you're going to be like, damn, this dude is good. But it was more than that, right? Hearing that he had a great day in the manner in which he had it, it was good because it was everything. It was said that he completed well over 70% of his passes, which again remains a goal from Ben Johnson. But to do that, they're putting him in more quick situations. They're running a more up-tempo offense, and we've seen Caleb Williams be decisive in that as well, right? So when you look at it as well, he had 4 incompletions on the day. That's it. That comes from Hogue. 4 incompletions on the day as a whole, right? And so when you look at it, 2 of those incompletions as well were tipped at the line of scrimmage, where the other one was an overthrow on a free play. So other than that, we're hearing that Caleb Williams is sharp. He's decisive. He threw a 55-yard touchdown pass to Kalif Raymond as well. That came from Zach Pearson, and he spread the ball around to a lot of receivers. That part is really important for Caleb Williams because that's how you keep defenses on their toes. And we've talked a lot about how the Bears have weapons. Of course, you have the Luther Burdens, the Rome Odunzes, the Colston Lovelands. We all know that. But when you add in the Kalif Raymonds, the Xavion Thomases, getting to the passes to your backfield as well, just opening up the floor for everybody, the Jade Walkers, that's what this team is going to do. It was reported that he had the chunk yardage plays all day with the offense and Caleb Williams. So that's it. I talked a lot about on this show how I want to see this offense be more functionally good this season. And by that, I just mean making being more consistent in carving out the defense. It doesn't have to come. He's going to have the 50-yard bombs. He's going to have the plays off the back leg that you look at and say he's going to make the plays with his legs. We all know what Caleb Williams is capable of, but it's those in-between things. It's taking the give-me's a little bit more, eating out chunks of the defense to keep drives extended, keep the defenses on the floor, keep the drive going. That's what you really want to see. The efficiency is where you want to see the standout be this season for this Bears defense and Caleb Williams as a quarterback. And from the sounds of it in Day 2 of training camp, that's already what you're seeing from these guys, and you love to hear that, for coming from this one. Also, reportedly, while Kalif Raymond was a standout, Rome Odunze and Luther Burden all had really big plays in yesterday's practice as well. But Kalif Raymond, the veteran, stole the show. Reportedly, he had a huge play in regards to it from Sean Heyman as well. And he said that he had the highlight play of the day and that he was catching passes from Caleb Williams and Tyson Bagent. He had a 54-yard bomb touchdown from Caleb Williams on the 11-on-11 drills. That came on cornerback Tyreek Stevenson. And he was one of the biggest winners overall of practice, and that's coming from it. So, hearing that Kalif Raymond, right, who was an acquisition for the Chicago Bears this offseason, somebody who's familiar with Ben Johnson's system. And I've said, like, even with the Xavier Thomas hype, we know what Jade Walker, and the potential that he has there, and a lot of Bears fans are excited to see him. Kalif Raymond came in with a step ahead of these guys because of his familiarity with the system. And, just the consistency. Ben Johnson talked about the consistency in which Kalif Raymond plays with. And that's why I've always said, like, Kalif Raymond is going to be named as the wide receiver 3. I don't even look at it as a battle for who's going to be named as the wide receiver 3. I look at it more as a battle of who's going to get the number of snaps and targets as the season goes on, right? But bringing in Kalif Raymond could be such a big, like we talk about replacing the consistency of DJ Moore. And Kalif Raymond could potentially help adding to that. I think it's going to be by committee. I think you're going to look at Luther Burden. You're going to look at Colston. You're going to look at Kalif Raymond. You're going to look at all these guys to help replace some of that, right? But hearing that Kalif Raymond's coming in, already building that chemistry with Caleb Williams, that's really what you want to see from these guys, man, and just continue to make it forward. But it's the offense overall that really has stood out as well, and that continues to be a theme. This offense has the chance to be extremely elite this offseason, right? And you do that. And we heard that Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, and Colston Loveland all had big performances today. Yesterday. That's what you want to see, right? According to Clay Harbor, Rome Odunze looked explosive again. Another strong day with multiple catches and continue to separate consistently. The thing that I've heard so much, right, about some Bears fans is that, and Rome Odunze has since come out himself and kind of clarified his statements on when he said, like, hey, there's a new normal with his foot. Some people took that as meaning like, hey, that means that this guy's never going to be quite the same. He may not be good again. He may not be as fast and elusive. And, Rome Odunze has come out since, and because you've seen the reaction from that, it kind of clarified that on the meaning like it has not changed his skill. It hasn't changed his upside. It hasn't changed any of those things for him. And so as we get ready for from this recording, training camp today is about an hour from now, and I may do a midday episode to update on that because I don't do Saturday episodes. That's on C-Dub and Bobby. But just what Rome Odunze's potential is, and I get it. Seeing him last year come back hurt, seeing him get hurt, it has changed the way that some Bears fans view his overall and long-term potential. But it seems like he's gotten right back to that this offseason so far. And, of course, once pads are on, once you're playing other teams, those things can change a little bit. But for what it's worth and what Rome Odunze can prove right now, he's proven every bit of it. And also, according to Luther Burden, continues to show flashes. He's run clean routes. He continues to be explosive after the catch, which is a big thing that you're going to need that yak, right? You're going to need that. And so, that the chemistry is still building with him and Caleb Williams as well. They already have really good chemistry last year. That's what needs to be kind of the marker of the Chicago Bears offense this year is better chemistry between Caleb and everybody, between Rome, Luther, Colston, Jade, like building chemistry with Kalif Raymond and those type of guys is the better chemistry overall, right? We even heard that rookie Sam Roush got some reps with the first team offense as well. That also comes from Sean Heyman also. So hearing that. The nickel corner continues to be something that people are talking about as well. With Wednesday, it was Jalen Johnson who received the bulk of the work with the first team defense, while Cam Lewis, Josh Blackwell, and Malik Muhammad worked in as well. But it seemed like in yesterday's practice, that it was Jones and Lewis that were working more with the starters in yesterday's practice. So you love to hear that in regards to it. Josh Blackwell was working with the second team also in yesterday's practice. So they're just continue to try different looks while Kyler Gordon's getting healthy. Braxton Jones continues to work with the first team as well on that left tackle position, and Jedrick Wills is also getting reps, at that left tackle position also. Like, it seems like this position is Braxton Jones to lose. We got a voicemail on that, so I'll dive a little bit more into that later on. But it does seem like Wills worked with the second team. Kieran Amagaje was working with the threes. I have Kieran Amagaje on the roster bubble, right? And then, that flipped a little bit from Wednesday's practice. So Theo Benedict also worked at right tackle with the second team for the past 2 days. That's according to Brad Biggs. We know Theo Benedict is probably going to be the swing tackle on this team that plays multiple positions. And then some of the injuries. So Kyle Monangai was not spotted at practice at all yesterday, right? Montez Sweat did make his debut yesterday with a stint after coming back from the non-football injury list. So there's good in regards to that one. And so, like, it has been no other updates anywhere else, which is good. You don't want to see anybody else being hurt. But, Bears are getting good practice in. Colston Loveland continued to stand out. Kobe Bryant, also, we're talking about the defense a little bit. Right? While the defense didn't have the best day on yesterday's practice, it does seem like Kobe Bryant has stood out. According to Devin Caney of Fox 32, he said Bryant disrupted the pass play when he batted down a ball during 11-on-11s and was all over the field. Bryant's versatility stood out from his days with the Seattle Seahawks, and it would seem the Bears plan to utilize him all over the place this upcoming season. I said it before. Kobe Bryant is motivated. Being left off that top 10 safety list, which, again, I kind of understand, motivated him. Coming to a new team, leaving the Seahawks, he wants to bring that leadership. He wants to bring the experience of winning a Super Bowl over to this team. And it just seems like he's coming into this one understanding how to set the tone. And this defense needs tone setters. And Kobe Bryant, being a veteran, being a Super Bowl winner, you want him to be part of the team that sets the tone. You also want TJ Edwards, Montez Sweat, right? You don't want him to be the only one, but you want him to be one of those guys to help set the tone for this team. And it seems like he's living up to that as things stand right now. So the Bears, it's looking pretty good for the Chicago Bears in training camp, and it's supposed to be. I've always said this. You want to hear good things in training camp. If you're hearing bad things in training camp, that means that your season's pretty much doomed, right? So even some of the worst teams have good training camps. So, but the Bears are doing what they need to do. I'm liking the things that we're hearing from this team so far in training camp. And let's hope that we continue to take it a step further and that we continue to build off of the momentum that we have and we ride that out into the season. But with that said, it is Friday. That means it is mailbag day here at Chicago Bears Central. Let's go ahead and get into these voicemails. This one's from Keys.
Yo, what's the deal, fellas? It's your boy Keys, man. Hope all is well with you guys. With that, into it. So the news came out with the Vita Vea and him requesting the trade. As much as I would love to have that run stopper, Haize, you probably know the numbers better than me, but from what I see, this is a guy that can take up 2-3 guys at a time, occupy them while the linebackers run free. He would fit this defense kind of perfect, being a nose tackle that he would be, and he can move. I don't really see it happening. Now, I wouldn't be mad if Poles I would be mad if Poles didn't call in to just check, see what the temperature is with trying to acquire him, right? Because it don't hurt to just check and see. But also, too, he's going to want some money. And I think with revisionist history, we paid older guys money before, and it didn't truly pan out like we wanted it to. Joe Tooney is an anomaly. But we talk about on defense, you just paid Grady Jarrett. You paid a motivated Deo, So those two contracts, if we, honestly, in my mind, if we didn't have those two contracts, Vita Vea would be a Chicago Bear, in my opinion. That's how I see it. But then we also got to look at this, too. You got to pay Caleb. You got to pay Darnell. Now, you can free up some money, but I just don't see it happening. And then we also got Javon Dexter. So, if we wanted Vita, I think it would be better if we didn't have two contracts of Grady and Deo. But nonetheless, at least call, check in, and see what it would probably take to get them, But then that's more money you add to your book. So that's just how I see it. I still think we need some work on this D-line. And we'll see how it goes. It might benefit more to call in and check and see if we can go after maybe a Josh Sweat, but I think Austin Booker is going to ascend to the player that we need him to be next to Montez Sweat. So let me know what you guys think. As always, Chi-Town up, bear down.
I agree with you. Poles, if he doesn't at least call on Vea, then it's a missed opportunity. Now, that does not mean that a deal is going to happen. And I've already seen a lot of Chicago Bears fans setting themselves up to where when Vea is moved and he's moved to a different team, people are going to be like, oh, Poles missed again, because the price does matter, right? It's unlikely to happen this season for the things that you mentioned. The price does matter. And the price at what it is and where the Bears have coming up this offseason, there's there. Now, I will say this. The Bears can let Dio walk next offseason. They can waive Dio. They can let Tyreek Stevenson walk. They can come out of Grady Jarrett's contract. There are a number of things that they can do to alleviate some of their cap responsibility heading into next season. But that may come in the offseason. And I've said it a lot. I don't think the Bears make a considerable move like that into the next offseason at the earliest, but we'll see. All right, let's get into this next voicemail, man. This one's from Coach Ricks.
Good brothers, good brothers, good brothers. Coach Ricks from Jersey. They're down for life. Recent news on Vita Vea. I don't care what it takes. This would solve a few things. So I'm saying I don't care what it takes, meaning zero dead cap. We could extend them. Don't have to worry about paying Gray Jarrett next year. It's a move that if we can make it, you move earth and water to get him. You know what I mean? You move, do what you got to do to get him. 31 this year. He's got another 2-3 of at least being a dominant run stopper. You know what I mean? That's what he do. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take, it takes two to deal with him. Allows our linebackers behind him to run free and make plays. He is dominant. Still dominant. Pro Bowl caliber player. That we didn't do the edge rush thing. We didn't really fix the edge rush situation. Let's fix the run stop. Let's put, you know what I mean, as a mountain of a man that will cause problems. You know what I mean? Will cause problems. So I'm saying, with the jump on it. If we the Bear Brass posing them, jump on it. Vita Vea requested a trade, make it happen. Get him to the shy. I don't care what it takes. Maybe a third rounder, but with that zero dead cap, oh man, come on, man. We can get him. I say get him. And then it really doesn't matter what we do off the edges. Meaning we could have the same edge production and still have a more dominant and thorough defense. I mean, so if, we get 8 to 10 off both sides with that run stop, the ability to be able to third and short, stop the run, be able to stop the run consistently, because I ain't never seen one guy block Vita Vea. So it is what it is, right? All right, that's all I got to say. I'm going to check back with y'all. But good news, if we can do it, I say make it happen. All right, bear down. Roll life. They're closer to seeing C-ball. Yeah, I say it every day because but anyway, fellas. All right, man. Let me know what y'all think.
I hear you, but the price does matter, right? And that's why I say us as fans, we don't make decisions, and it's good that we don't. Because there's some moves absolutely that I've heard. I'm like, I don't care what the price is, go and do it. But the price does matter. When you're a front office, you have to think about the cost of doing business both now and in the future. Just as the reality of it. Yes, Via would instantly change one of the things that I've said that I want to see the Bears change the most, and that's our run defense. We need to improve our run defense. I've even said so much that I'd rather see that be a focus than, getting a bunch of sacks, right? And so I think that, though, that the price matters. The price absolutely has to matter in this. And so if you completely ignore the price, that's when you have to send off players that are good that you actually want to keep. So the Bears are going to have some flexibility this offseason. I'm not saying that the Brian Poles won't necessarily make a move either, but the price absolutely matters. And a financial move that's as big as what this would end up being, I think that, the Bears are probably not going to make that right now. And if they do, maybe at the trade deadline, maybe they see, if the Bears get to the trade deadline and they feel like, hey, the thing that's keeping us from being a Super Bowl contender right now is a player like Vea or a player like Max Crosby. We can win a Super Bowl this season. Maybe they'll do that if they truly feel that window's open. But at the same time, patience is usually in being more strategic in when you make your moves rather than making the moves just because a player becomes available, just making a knee-jerk reaction. Those are the moves that usually become more sustainable. So we got to see what the Bears are going to do in that regard. All right, let's get into this next voicemail, man. This one's from Darius.
What's going on, guys? Darius from Dallas, man. I heard the press conference yesterday, and man, I just say I'm so happy that we got an organization that holds players accountable, man. And from what it looks like, from what it sounds like, Poles is sick of Kyler soft tissue Gordon's ass, like I am. They pretty much put him on notice. That's basically what that is. They said, hey, you got to come back and earn it because we already paid you this money, and you got to come back and earn it. And I am just so thankful that we have an organization like that. Cause I know we've had past, some staffs and some coaches in the past that, simply wouldn't have handled it that way. So I'm glad that they're holding him accountable. Also want to talk about the left tackle, whole dilemma. And for some reason, man, I don't know, but for the first time in a while going into training camp, I'm not worried about our left tackle position. I really do think that, I know, old boy, C-Dub probably not going to like that, but I think that Braxton's going to be good this year. I really do. I think that if he can just be, Haize has made the bar for the players, serviceable. He'll probably be like a little he'll be the Javon Dexter of offense on our offensive line. He'll be the Javon Dexter on the other side of the ball. And that's good enough, I think, with Caleb's athletic ability, particularly, reporting that he's lost about 10, 15 pounds. He's going to be a little bit more shifty, so I'm not too worried about that because it ain't like we got a guy like Jared Goff who's a statue. I know it's his blind side, but, I think we're going to be just okay over there. And, I think that's going to benefit us because with the money that we got to pay out to Darnell and Caleb and possibly even Jalen Johnson in the future, it's really going to help us, man, to have a guy over there that we can just trust until Ozzie gets back. So, I think we're looking good, man. And like for the first time, it's been a minute, dude. We went into training camp with me feeling like I believe in the quarterback and I believe in the coach. So despite all the problems that everybody, continues to point out, we still got a couple things to improve on. Just sit back and relish the fact that for the first time in a while, guys, we're rolling into training camp not having to worry about the quarterback or the coach. And that just feels good, man. I just want to be a little positive today. Let me know what y'all think. Check this up, bear down.
Braxton Jones is a perfectly fine starting left tackle. And, despite, what you like to do and like some other Bears fans that like to be in Madden thinking and don't actually think in real life in football, not every starter is going to be an above average starter. You're going to have your serviceable starters there, and that's perfectly fine. But how do they fit in? Now, Braxton is a player that has, a big flaw in the bull rush. Jedrick Wills seems like he's being more healthy. He's going to provide some depth there as well. And we're just going to see how it continues to go. Like it's Braxton can be perfectly serviceable, and serviceable on a 1-year deal is perfectly fine when you have your long-term left tackle in Ozzie Trapillo, who's just hurt right now, right? So that's what you have to look in regards to it. And so I'm not saying you can't upgrade from Braxton. We have an upgrade from Braxton. He's on the roster. Unfortunately, he's just hurt, right? So, people who are like completely freaking out about Braxton being the starter, I think it'll be perfectly fine. And this offensive line has improved so much in its overall structure over the years. I think he'd be fine in regards to that. And I feel you as far as not having to worry about the coach and the quarterback. That is such a luxury to be in, and that's such a place that the Bears we haven't been in a long time, and it feels really good for that. And we've come a long way from you calling Ben Johnson Matt Nagy 2.0. All right, for that, let's get into the last voicemail, man. This one's from Fred.
Hey, what's up, hey? It's your boy Fred. Shout out to Bobby C. Dub, Big Kevin Steve-O, man. Man, I was watching your show the other day, man, and then, hearing what you saying about CBS talking about some Caleb Williams is overrated. I'm trying to figure out how the hell this man is overrated though. I'm not understanding this shit with CBS. And for two, if anybody they should say is overrated, it's that bum ass Jordan Love up there at Green Bay and Dak Prescott with the Dallas Cowgirls. Now, if you want to say overrated, I can name some quarterbacks that's overrated. But Caleb Williams, no, he ain't overrated. I'm trying to understand this narrative with CBS, man. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like what is this hate about Caleb Williams? You know what I'm saying? Coming from? Because last time I checked, the man won a division title his second year, right? The man, he's got a better record against Green Bay so far. Jordan Love have not, accomplished those things. Have not even made it out the first round of the playoffs. Maybe he haven't. He beat Dallas one time. Like, what is he talking about here? Like, let's be real here. Like, I'm so sick of these. Excuse my language, though, Haize, but I gotta get this off my chest. I gotta go off. I'm so sick of these punk ass, bitch made ass media motherfuckers that they keep hating on the Bears. Like, this shit gotta stop though. And then two, I'm with Ben Johnson as far as on Kyler Gordon. Like, now I'm kind of looking and scratching my head, like, as far as Kyler Gordon, it's like, when are we going to see a full season of Kyler Gordon with no injuries and helping his team? Like, maybe the writing's on the wall, man. Like, don't be surprised if Kyler Gordon end up getting traded or he being cut. I could be wrong, with that though, but it's the reason why they brought Cam Lewis in for that nickel. Because, like Ben Johnson said, he's not available. And being for he can't trust Kyler Gordon. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, Kyler Gordon, I'm scratching my head on that one. Then they come out the trade talk with Vita Vea. Don't get me wrong, I won't mind having Vita Vea come in, but who the hell finna pay, this man a big ass contract? Let's be real about that, so I mean, he take up space. Don't get me wrong, that'd be good because it'll open up a lot on the defense. But let me know what you think on that, big dog. Chicago up, bear down, or nothing.
The national media does stuff for clicks. And I think that's really, don't let it get you worked up. Don't let it get you pissed off. I know I do too, and I'm talking to myself too. But, at the end of the day, some of the criticism for Caleb is there. And it's real. There are legitimate criticisms for Caleb. So you can't get mad at every legit criticism, but some of the knocking and calling him the most overrated. The thing that I always say is we're about to get back on the football field. Let's see how much they're talking, how much their criticisms, how much their hate, whatever you want to call it, how much of that rings true once the football pads are on and we're on the football field. Because when Caleb Williams is throwing bombs or running around your favorite defense, making big plays, getting first downs, throwing touchdowns, and we're winning football games, I want to see who's overrated then. That's what I want to see. Who's overrated then? But that's going to do it for today's episode, man. I want to thank you to all the callers on this episode. I want everybody who's watching this episode, make sure you guys sound off in the comment section on everything from the training camp to the voicemails. I want to hear from you guys. That's what makes this show a little bit different. Make sure you guys follow us or hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode or a live stream. You can follow us at Shy Bear Central on every social media platform. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that is thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.